start, let's do this. Remember when we're factoring, let's make up something. You don't have to write this down. Let's say I'm factoring this, and I want to factor it, okay? And I have my AM method. What does that A stand for? Add. What's the M stand for? Multiply. When we put it in our T-chart, we flip it. So what goes first? The M for multiply, which I normally put the dot, and then the A, or the plus sign for add, right? What number is going to go under multiplying? What number goes under adding? Okay. I didn't realize how much of a problem that was with my other classes. This part is very important with what we're doing today. We're not doing hard factoring problems, but you have to understand this part first. All right. So, multiplying rational expressions. What we're going to do first is we want to factor, and I wrote it 3 times just so you knew how important it was. You want to factor, factor, factor every expression. Step 2, you want to cancel any factors. Cancel out any factors that appear in the numerator and the denominator. Step 3, you want to multiply the factors that are left. You multiply straight across. Eric, can you see from there?
Yeah.
Okay. Make sure you guys have calculators too. Alright, so let's take a look at my numerator. Everything that's on top. If I multiply everything on top, what's 3 times 4 times 14? Put it to the top there.
168.
168. Okay. That x cubed is going to stay up on top. 168. On the bottom, I have 4 times 21 times 4. What do we get?
336.
336. Alright, and then I have x to the first times x to the fifth. Think back to unit 5. When we're multiplying the same base, I need to add my exponents. So that is going to be x to the what? 6. All we're doing is we're just adding up all of our variables together. What is 168 divided by 36? 1/2. Good. And then I have x cubed divided by x6. When I'm dividing the same base, I subtract. So what's 6 minus 3? 3. Will that x to the third power go on the top or the bottom?
Bottom.
It goes on the bottom because this 6 is bigger than my 3.
And then it would be a negative.
If you did it the other way, that's fine. You would just do 3 minus 6, which would give you a negative exponent, which you also have to move. So I basically just cut that step out, and I just multiply, subtract, big from little. Any questions with that one? All right, look at number 2. On top, let's multiply. What's 5 times 6?
30.
All right, then I have x to the second times x to the third. What does that give me? X to the fifth. Good. Just add them all up. Then I have y to the first times y to the second. So I'm left with y to the third. For my denominator, let's multiply across. What's 2 times 10? My x stands alone. I just have one x. And I have y third times y to the first. That gives me y to the fourth. We're going to simplify this. When I simplify, what's 30 divided by 20? 3 over 2. I have x to the 5th divided by x to the 1st. So I subtract my exponent. That's 5 minus 1?
That'll be 4.
4. Will that go on the top or the bottom?
Top.
The top. So we have x to the 4th. And then I have my y's that I want to divide. Let's subtract big from little. 4 minus 3 is 1. Will that go on the top or the bottom? Will it go on the top or the bottom?
One.
The bottom. What's your question, Isaac?
Oh, I was going to say that. That's what I was going to say. It doesn't bother.
Any questions on 1 or 2? 1 or 2 is just basically showing you the process of how we're going to be solving these problems. All right, for number 3, I want you guys to write exactly what I'm writing. So when you look back on it, you'll know what's going on. So we have our division symbol. Let's start out with, we're going to go, everything on the top we're going to factor, everything on the bottom we're going to factor. This x plus 1, I can't do anything with it. I'm just going to rewrite it. Okay, I'm going to use color so you guys can see exactly which one I'm working with. For the second one in my numerator, I have x squared minus x minus 6. I need to do my AM method. I need two numbers that multiply to give me what?
6.
What kind of 6?
Negative.
Negative 6, and adds to give me negative 1. If you have your blue sheet, you could use that.
I know that.
What's my two numbers that multiply to give me negative 6?
1 and negative 6.
Yep, that won't give me 1 if I add it.
3.
Let's do 3 and 2.
What was the negative?
Which number gets my negative?
I think 3.
I don't want you to think, I want you to know. If we have negative 2 and positive 3, or positive 2 and negative 3, if you add those together, which one gives you a negative 1?
2, negative 3.
Yeah.
So if we have 2 and negative 3, let's go ahead and put those factors in. This is my shortcut. So I'm going to have x plus 2 times x minus 3, because that was my other factor. All good on the numerator? Alright, on the bottom, I have x squared plus 2x minus 3. Let's do my t-chart. Jenny, I need two numbers that multiply and give me what? That multiply? Remember your AM method, right? Negative 3. Take your sign before. And what about two numbers that add to give me positive 2? So my factors will be 3 and 1. Something needs my negative, the 3 or the 1. Nope, if I have negative 3 plus 1, I get negative 2. So it's going to be the 1. So let's write that in. X plus 3 and x minus 1. Okay. My last fraction, or not fraction, my last polynomial here. Isaac, I need two numbers that multiply to give me what?
Negative 3.
Negative 3, and I need two numbers that add to give me.
Negative 2.
Okay, so my choices are 3 and 1. And my 3 gets the negative. Once we have our last factors, we plug those in. Does everyone understand what we've done so far? We factored each piece, we got our factors for it. Now I need to cancel out. I can only cancel out from top to bottom. I can't cancel anything out if it's on the same line. Alright, so from top to bottom, what can I cancel out?
Both x minus 3.
X minus 3, yep, that can go. What else can go?
X plus 1.
X plus 1 can go.
That's it.
That's it. So my answer is x plus 2 divided by x plus 3, x minus 1. Any questions on number 3? Alright, let's do number 5. We're skipping around here. Alright. So, here's my first that I need to, well, I can't do the AM method, right? Because I only have 2. I have a binomial. So I can either do GCF, I can dose, or I can SOAP. Which one do I have here? You can't dose that. You can GCF it, yeah. What's my GCF here? I have 4x squared minus 4x. My GCF is, guys, I have 4 and 4. So what's the largest number that goes into 4 and 4? Thank you. And I have x squared and I have x. What's this? Just x. So if I divide this, you get 4x times plus divide. What's 4x squared divided by 4x? Just x. And then negative 4x divided by 4x is just negative 1. We're going to take that and we're going to plug it right in. 4x times x minus 1. I know you guys hate factoring, but I told you guys it would never go away. I could just see your faces when we have to factor, but we have to do it.
What are the ways that you can do it on the calculator?
Forgot which way.
You said you can do it on the calculator.
Sometimes we can find our factors on the calculator. I'll show you how to do that. But for some of these, we just have to know how to do it. All right, look at this. 5x squared plus 13x minus 6. We're going to need some space for this one to do our work. Did we notice how that 5 in front of my x squared needs to be swung to the negative 6? Remember that? So let's swing it. When we swing it, I need 2 numbers that multiply and give me negative 30, because negative 6 times 5. And that adds to give me 13. Maybe 10 and 3. Wait, 15 and 2. Let's see here. So, Jeffrey, in your calculator, if you need to find factors, you would go to your y equals. And then you would type in negative 30 divided by x. So you're basically typing in what you have to multiply to get. And then you would have to go through and figure out the same thing that we're doing now. Okay, so my answer will be 15 and 2, and my 2 gets the negative. Okay, so if I pull down my first number, that's 5x squared. I pull down my last, that's negative 6. On the inside, I'm plugging in my new factors. So positive 15x minus 2x. Okay, I know this one's long. Sometimes you may need to get scratch the paper. My GCF on the left side is going to be 5x. So let's divide. And we're left with x plus 3. On the right side, my GCF is negative 2. Forget that negative.
Wait, then 2 divided by negative 2 divided by x minus 3 plus 3.
X plus 3. So my final answer for my factors here are 5x minus 2 and x plus 3. We're going to plug that right in over here. The ones that we have to swing, I know we're a little bit longer because we have to factor it by grouping. All right, this one, x squared minus 2x minus 3. We need a t-chart for that. I need two numbers that multiply and give me -3 and adds to give me +2. I think we've done this one before. 3 and 1, my 1 gets the negative. So that would be x plus 3, x minus 1.
Oh, my God.
This last 4x here, I can just write again. There's nothing else to do with it. So now, what can I cancel out?
X plus 3. And 4x.
And 4x can go because we're just multiplying.
And x minus 1.
So we did all that work, and what's my final answer?
5x minus 2.
I know.
Is that always the case? Is that always the case?
No, I don't know. We have to solve it and find out. All right, let's get number 6 for the sake of time. Look at dividing rational expressions. Dividing fractions and dividing rational expressions are the same thing. The concept is the same, okay? My other classes swore they've never divided fractions before. I don't believe that. Okay. So let's review it. Step 1, you want to what did I write here? Let's see your thing. I keep changing this word. Alright. So we're going to change the problem to a multiplication problem. The wording here is a little weird, sorry. You're going to change it. And then you're going to flip the second fraction. Step 2 is to factor. I'm not going to make you write it 3 times, but you need to write it big so you know how important it is. Factor every expression. There are different ways to factor. We can find the GCF, we can dose, we can SOAP. The main one is the AM method, or swing. And then you want to cancel out any factors that appear in the numerator and the denominator. And last, you want to multiply the factors that are left straight across. Okay? So, what I want you guys to write what I write. On top of the first fraction, I want you to write a K for keep.
What?
Keep, K-E-E-P. In the middle, I want you to write a C for change. And then I want you to write an F for flip. We are keep, change, flip. That's what we're doing to solve dividing of fractions. So what that means is my first fraction, I'm going to keep it the same. So I'm just going to rewrite it, keep it all the same. In the middle, I'm going to change. So, what's the opposite of division? In And then I'm going to flip. So on top I have x squared minus 4. On the bottom I have x squared minus 3x minus 4. All I did was I just flip-flopped them from top to bottom. Now this looks like what we've been doing. Okay? So now we can work it out. Alright, the first one is x minus 4. That's not changing. Let's just write it as it is. X minus 4. The second one here, x squared minus 4. I can dose this. If I dose it, I need double parentheses, opposite signs, and I take the square root of each term. What's the square root of x squared? Just x. And the square root of 4 is 2. On the bottom, I have x minus 2 squared. That does not mean that we distribute that 2. Okay, we never distribute an exponent here. What that means is that it's written twice. X minus 2, x minus 2. Then we have x squared minus 3x minus 4. Well, now I have to do my AM method. And I need two numbers that multiply to give me negative 4 and adds to give me negative 3. So 4 and 1 could be an option. What will get my negative? Yeah, the 4. Because negative 4 plus 1 gives me negative 3. So my answer is x minus 4, x plus 1. Now I can start canceling things out. What can I take care of?
I'll go x minus 2.
Alright, x minus 2 can go.
X minus 4.
X minus 4.
That's it.
Yep, that's all we can get rid of. So my final answer is x plus 2 is on top. And on the bottom I have x minus 2 and x plus 1.
If we don't have both one now, then just one.
Just one, yes. Because we can cross out from from top to bottom, but we wouldn't be able to cross out there on the same level. That's the question. So you're perfect. All right, let's do number 3. So number 3, let's keep, change, flip. So if I rewrite this, I have x squared minus 25 on top over x squared plus 2x minus 3. Keep the first one the same. I change my sign, and then I flip to be x squared minus 3x minus 18, and x plus 5 is on the bottom.
Can you put x squared minus 25? Can you you can dose that, right?
We haven't got that far yet. We're just rewriting it. Alright, so now I have x squared minus 25. That is a dose. I need double parentheses, opposite sides. What's the square root of x squared? X, square root of 25. Okay, then I have x squared minus 3x minus 18. And do my factor 3. I need two numbers that multiply to give me what, Jeffrey?
3.
Multiply to give me
Negative 10.
no,
Oh, 18. Negative
negative 18, and that adds to give me
3. Negative 3.
negative 3. Don't forget we have the flip flop. AM, MA. So that would be 6 and 3. My 6 gets the negative. We have x minus 6 times x plus 3. At the bottom I have x squared plus 2x minus 3. So I need two numbers that multiply and give me negative 3 and add to give me 2. 3 and 1. And the 1 gets my negative. So I have x plus 3, x minus 1.
And then x plus.
And then we can just rewrite x plus 5 on the bottom. What are you guys going to cancel out?
X plus 5 is X plus 5. That's X plus 3.
And x plus 3, good. That's it, right? So my final answer is x minus 5 times x minus 6 divided by x minus 1. Alright, we're going to do one last one. Let's go to number 5. Alright, I'm going to keep, change, flip. I don't want that division symbol. So I have x plus 3 squared divided by x minus 5. I'm going to change my sign to multiplication. Then I flip my fraction. So x squared minus 8x plus 15 is on top. And x squared minus 9 is on the bottom. Alright, so on top, let's do this guy first. I'm going to write it twice. X plus 3 times x plus 3. Okay, here I need to do my AM method. Two numbers that multiply to give me 15 and add to give me negative 8. 5 and 3, both are negative, right? So we have x minus 3, x minus 5. On the bottom, there's nothing to do with that factor, you just rewrite it. And then I have x squared minus 9. That's a dose problem. So x plus 3, x minus 3.
We can cross out x minus 5 and x plus 3 and x minus 3.
So once again, all that work for one answer, for one factor.
What do you put a 1 under it?
You could. Wouldn't matter. Any questions on this? We got through a lot. Good.
That was quick.